Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the main event of SGDQ. Forget about Mario, forget about Celeste. It's all about Shantae and the Pirate's Curse at 4:45 in the morning. Am I right? Absolutely. Thank you so much everyone for being here. I am TheSoundDefense. I'm going to run this fantastic Metroidvania for you. This is my commentator, Janglestorm. Please say hello.
Hello, I'm Janglestorm. This is actually the first speed game that I ever ran, so it's finally nice to do commentary for this after all these years.
And it's also the first speed game I ever ran, so this is perfect. This works out perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I have to say. Are we ready to get started? All right, everyone's thumbs up. All right, we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right. So if you're familiar at all with the story, the lore of the Shantae series, you know that Shantae is a half genie with magical transformation powers, but at the start of this game, or at the end of the last game, she actually lost her genie powers, and we can't transform at all in this game. So instead, we spend the game collecting pirate items that allow us to move much faster and farther than we could before. But here, for this category, we are doing pirate mode, which is basically like the New Game Plus mode for this game. So we're starting with all of the pirate items, and we're starting with all this great movement right from the get-go. So this is why I am dashing and hovering and quadruple jumping throughout the entire game.
Yeah, all of this cool stuff you get here like right away, and as you will see later on, there's going to be some really cool stuff that you wouldn't be able to do in a normal mode. Some sequence breaks amongst other things, but we'll see soon enough about that later.
I was totally going to say something and I forgot. So instead, yeah, this is one of those cool sequence breaks you can do right here. Normally you would have to wait for these time bombs to explode, but you can just scimitar them and instead quickly get through that section. And right there, I jumped over a dialogue trigger and avoided a little bit of conversation, saving just a handful of seconds.
Yeah, the dialogue in this game is fantastic. You do get to skip it for the speedrun, of course, but if you get a chance to play it casually, please do so. It's fantastic.
All right, time for the first boss, the RNG Baron. This is one of those bosses where you just have to wait for him to let you do damage. And I am going to use this pike ball item that I got from Bolo at the very start. That's going to put in just a little bit more damage in each phase, and that's going to allow me to 2-phase the boss instead of 3-phasing the boss. But it doesn't matter that much anyway, because we are getting the maximum of 4 charges in this phase. This is terrible.
Yeah, Ammo Baron RNG can be definitely a thing, and Sound is especially waiting for those red cam balls, because those can be fired back at him, and then he can start attacking. So yeah, that was a bit of bad RNG, but still a pretty good fight.
Yeah, and hopefully you never see him charge at all, and you only see him cannonballs.
Yeah,
he got a few charges there, but it could have been so much worse. So now we get basically a large story dump. Basically, the gist of it is Risky Boots, our nemesis, is teaming up with us to defeat an even worser nemesis, the Pirate Master. And so we are going to travel all around Sequin Land to defeat dens of evil in order to weaken the Pirate Master's power. And while we let that play out with your standard trap bathtub, I don't know, can we get a donation in real quick?
Absolutely. We've got a $250 donation from Norimaki, who says,
nice.
Good morning, GDQ. Happy I was able to haul myself out of bed to support my longtime friend, TheSoundDefense, on his Shantae run. TSD was how I discovered this series due to his previous run many years ago, and I have never looked back. Thank you, TSD, for all that you have done, not only for me, but also for the small and extremely proud Shantae speedrunning community. Best of luck to you enduring a certain part of the game, and may RNG land ever in your favor.
All right. JT Norimaki is an absolute bro. He is one of the guys who's like really pushing the Shantae community forward. He's always doing Shantae speedruns on his channel. Absolutely give JT Norimaki a follow if you haven't already.
Yeah, Nori is the MVP, absolutely.
So this right here is the dark magic. I need to collect 20 of these in order to fulfill the category requirements and see the true ending of the game. That one is free, sort of like as a tutorial dark magic, but there's 19 more scattered throughout the land, and I'm gonna have to collect them in addition to doing the regular dungeons and whatnot. Also, we're currently under house arrest, so we sort of have to sneak out with somebody else's library card. I don't know why it works, don't worry about it. And here, this is the save guy. This is a mandatory save. You are not allowed to continue the game unless you come here and save. And so I am going to show off right now the first, I'm gonna show off these terrible button presses. I apologize for that. All right, so that movement I just did there, where I sort of walk back and forth, that is a trick known as the risky shuffle. Jangle, do you want to explain the risky shuffle? My brain is not working.
Yeah, so what Sandra's doing is, this is where the controller really comes in handy, because you can use both the analog and the D-pad in order to do this move. So you start moving with the one, and you use the other to move the other way. So it seems like you're just heading left or right, but you're secretly just buffering the one D-pad or the one direction input in order to charge yourself, which you would normally do with a regular running thing. So by doing that, the game seems to think that you're still running, and therefore you're able to set up for this this dash way quicker than you would think. And also, you can do that on smaller platforms too.
Wow, my RNG so far is abysmal. So I'm trying to pick up a whole lot of these flesh pops, partly because I have to use them to keep the run going to proceed, but I'm also going to be using these flesh pop items to do some animation cancels later on in the run. And we'll see about that when we get there. But also, you'll notice... Wow, what on earth are you doing, Cacklebat? You'll notice that I seem to be killing these snakes multiple times, sort of wedging myself between the ceiling and the enemy using the scimitar. I'm allowed to do lots of magic, lots of damage, and somehow that lets me kill a single enemy multiple times to get multiple item drops from it, which is super handy. And I totally forgot to do an animation cancel there. Whatever, there's going to be lots more opportunities for it later.
Yeah, you can do that for pretty much any animation that you want to land on. Like in this case, there will be quite a few keys that we will be picking up, so we will be especially using food items and such for those. Potions work as well, by the way, but in that case, we wind up running into quite a few food items if we get lucky enough. So that's what we hope for.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of item drops, hopefully, and they are going to be crucial for the success of the run. Well, they're going to be crucial for the speed of the run. The run will succeed whether or not we get the item drops, but if we get lots of really good item drops, I can avoid a little bit of money grinding later on. This is one of those games where you can get a world record if the game allows you to get a world record, but sometimes the game says, no, you're going to go slow today, and there's sort of nothing you can do about it. So if you're going for a really fast time, it can be a little aggravating, but if you're just going for a general speed run, you can work your way around the RNG, and it's actually really enjoyable, pretty chill as far as speed runs go. Not like huge amounts of actions per minute and stuff like that.
Yeah, this speedrun's got a little bit of everything. There's some RNG, there's movement tech, there's cool sequence breaks, as earlier mentioned. Just all around really a solid experience, and a really good one to start out with if you're thinking about picking up speedrunning.
Oh, I tried to be super cool there and just get a continuous run and jump all the way up to this alcove, but I failed to hit a branch. And so instead of being cool, I'm extremely lame. Please don't look at me while I'm being lame. And in the meantime, something I just did right there where I left and then came back, I was skipping the extremely long animation of the Cacklebat exploding. As soon as you leave an area and come right back, the Cacklebat has already been reduced to dark magic. So you're going to see me doing that several times. Are these scarecrows going to drop anything?
You never know. Yeah, they tend to drop random things. Like items that we're looking for specifically are stuff like monster milks, and if we get especially lucky, super pipe balls, because those will be used pretty much throughout the run, and we hope to get them later on as well. And if we get unlucky, we might need to do some shopping for that, but you never know. With this run, you'll just see whatever happens.
So I'm going to do my first bit of shopping right here. I'm going to pick up these 3 pirate flares and this super pike ball. So the pirate flares allow me to instantly leave an area and return to Risky's pirate ship. And the Super Pike Ball is just a heavy damage dealing item that I'm going to be using against the second boss. Anyway, we were done preparing for our grand adventure. Now it's time for part 1 of the grand adventure. We're on Saliva Island.
Good day for an island.
Yeah, I wonder why it's named Saliva Island. I never really thought about it.
I'm pretty sure that it will explain itself.
Okay, well, we'll just wait and see. We'll all figure out together why it's called Saliva Island. So here's a secret passage right here, in case you didn't know about this. So I'm going to pop through there, hit that one switch to open up a door. And I'm supposed to go and talk to a guy down below about a ring. And then that would cause those platforms to rise out of the ground. But because I already have my quadruple jump, I can just skip all of that. And I'm just going to hit this ham, and I'm going to pick up this ham stink. I need to smell like ham for a sequence that's going to happen in a minute or so. Which, I mean, totally understandable. Every once in a while, you just sort of need to smell like ham.
I mean, I would, maybe.
And that's... I've already lost count of what dark magic I'm on. I apologize, it's 5 in the morning. I'm not going to be very good at math. But I am going to be good at jumping and hitting things, I hope. So the speedrun should be able to continue without the use of math, if all goes well. Oh, can I get... shoot. So, if it is possible to trigger that dialogue as you fall down into that pit, and that skips this inhaling animation and saves you a few seconds, but also that series of 3 pauses I did skipped another animation where the Gigalummox blinks a few times. I do not know why those pauses trigger that animation skip. I don't know if anyone really knows.
Yeah, it was discovered at some point. Like, you have to do it 3 times in this case. You could do it more, but yeah, if you do it 3 times, it does somehow do that. And that trick that Sam was talking about, it's pretty precise because you have to pretty much drop down and trigger that action at the same time. So it's cool if you can get it for sure.
I have not gotten it in a while. I'm very slightly off my game. I'm out of practice. I used to be a contender, man. I used to be a contender instead of a bum, which is what I am.
You got this.
All right. Once again, no major drops, unfortunate. So yeah, we may have to do some money grinding later. We'll definitely have to do 1 round of money grinding for some hair upgrades, because I'm going to need more DPS against the final boss. But depending on how lucky we are, we're going to see if we have to do a 2nd round of money grinding later. But for now, we're going to enter the first dungeon, which is the Spittle Maze. Also, there was a story bit about a guy and his petrified wife. It's not important, don't worry about it. All right, so as soon as I enter, I'm going to leave and enter this secret hidden dungeon. This is an Easter egg that is a callback to the original Game Boy Shantae. And normally it's just like a fun little side thing that you can do if you manage to find it. But in the speedrun, it's incredibly useful because of these keys right here. So the thing about keys in this game is that they're more Zelda 1 keys than Ocarina of Time keys, which is to say that if you pick up a key in one place, you can use it in any dungeon. So I am picking up some spare keys that I am going to be using later in the game. Also, am I set up for... No, I'm not. There we go. Now I am set up, hopefully, for some animation cancels. So I'm going to hit this, pick up this key, grab this money. Nice. There we go. So eating that flesh pop as soon as I hit the ground skips the much longer animation of me standing there and holding the key. So I'm going to be doing that as much as I can throughout this run. Basically, any potion or any food will allow me to do that. But also, food is kind of useful for not dying, so it's a little bit of a balancing act. That could be resolved if I was good at this game. So, I don't know, maybe I'll still be good at this game and I can use all of my food for animation cancels. We'll see.
It's always nice to have a buffer.
Oh, that fireball does not usually spit right there. That was a little strange. So right up here, we're coming up on this little forced wetman fight. I am going to try and keep both of these guys stuck in the corner while I just pelt them with cannonballs from above. It's possible that they will escape and make my life more difficult, but it looks like things are going pretty well, except for the part where no one is dropping any items. What is going on?
Oh, that's a worse luck, yeah.
Yeah, my luck could be a little bit better. I was worried about this. I used up all my good RNG during the practice run. Anyway, now we're in the boss arena. So this is the Cyclops plant. This is a 2-phase fight. If you blink, you'll miss the first phase, so pay close attention. There you go, that's the first phase done. So I'm gonna do more of that real quick. This is not ideal, but I think I'm good. Yep,
Nice.
There we go.
Very good.
So that's more of me wedging myself with the scimitar between the ceiling and the enemy, which allows me to do a huge amount of damage. The first phase just goes like that, and the second phase, with some carefully timed jumps, you can take care of that before he starts firing the laser, which is the extra DLC paid version of the boss.
Yeah, that phase tends to happen often, believe me.
More than you'd like.
Yeah.
I did it!
So next, we are going to go off to Spiderweb Island. And I guess it's a good time for one quick donation.
Sure thing. We have, let me make sure I got that here. We have $100 from Crazy Old Ben Kenobi, who says, good luck on the run from all your Mitten Ballers friends.
Hey, shout out to the Mitten Ballers. A bunch of us who grew up in northern Michigan at the tip of the mitten, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at a map of Michigan and you'll understand. So this is Spiderweb Island. It's full of zombies and ghosts. The zombies are whatever. The ghosts are extremely annoying because they just sort of appear next to you and hover menacingly. And sometimes they just spawn in your hitbox, which is the worst. So this is another little sequence break here. You're not supposed to get this fossil for a few more dungeons. Ow. But because we have all the pirate items, we can pick it up right now and save ourselves a little bit of time. And right here, Shantae is going to do a magic trick. She's going to disappear. Poof. Where did she go? Also, a giant spider warning, by the way, for anyone who does not like giant spiders. We'll be seeing her again. So this is Roddy Tops, and now we have to escort her through either the best or the worst part of the game, depending on who you're talking to and who you're trying to upset.
Officially speaking, I'm supposed to say it's a part of the game.
It is a part of the game for sure. So this is Run Run Roddy Tops. I no longer have access to my pirate items. We're now stuck in this running animation. We're avoiding all of these enemies. If I touch any of these enemies, I will explode and go back to the beginning. Ooh, like that. Gosh darn it. I get past the gatekeeper right here, and then I get damaged by the next guy. Figures that's how it works. But yeah, you don't actually have health in this area. It's not possible to game over. So we call this basically a glorified auto-scroller, because that's more or less what it is. Though there are some optimizations you can do, like you saw me running back and forth on the ceiling above that one, I do not remember the names of these enemies, the tongue guy. That sort of goaded him into sticking his tongue out from above, which allowed me to move through a little faster. And now we have these giant spiky things, which may remind you of another game, purely by coincidence. I don't know. Do you know, have you seen these before? Do you know what these are from?
They might be from some other game. Maybe other games, even.
I don't know. I haven't played enough video games. It's some obscure title that's like hanging like somewhere in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say something and I don't remember what it is. This is going to be a running theme with this run, I'm sure, because it's 5 in the morning. So these tombstones right here, don't trust them. Some of these are actually tombstone crabs, and they will jump up and they will crawl at you. So in that first section, only some of those will pop up, but we know exactly which ones will pop up or have the potential to. For the rest of this area, any of them can pop up and damage you, so you have to be wary of any and all of them. Now we have the next enemy, the kissy robots. Really, they're not that mean. They love us. They just want to give us a little kiss.
There's a lot of them that really love you.
Yeah, but we are exercising healthy boundaries. We are the bosses of our own bodies, and if we do not want to be kissed, then we are not going to be kissed. And right now I have more important things to do. I have a world to save.
Yeah, so the lore is basically that Royatops is claiming that she's come down with something, that she might be sick. So Shantae is then asked to bring her back home to her brother. But is she actually sick? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, she's looking a little green. I don't think she's doing too great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say, now that we're near the end of this section, I am going to chip in $10 to Doctors Without Borders for every time I take damage in this section, which I think so far is one time.
I think so, yeah.
What's going on? Why did my jump not... Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't like this. I like...
Ooh.
No! Oh, that was terrible.
They can be mean. Yeah, these are what we call Stevens in the community. Don't ask us why, but...
They have other names. We're not going to say them here.
Yeah.
This is the cruelest set of Stevens I think I've ever seen in my life. This is extraordinary.
Yeah, this is... Those are very high jump. Shout out to the taco jump, by the way.
Yep, that's the taco jump right there. All right, now we're in the final room, which is not really that bad. There's lots of everything in here, but there's not really any danger until conveniently the very end of the room. So if I take damage at the very end of the room, I'm probably going to lose something like 40 seconds, which I don't want to do. I have embarrassed myself enough already. All right, the final stretch. Here's the gauntlet. Oh, pincer attack. Okay, we're out. We're done. We made it. And I got hit 3 times, so I am going to donate $30 to Doctors Without Borders. And if anyone out there feels like joining me, please feel free. Here we go. So now we can see what Roddy Tops was afflicted. Oh, she was afflicted with lying, of course.
Ha!
I should have known.
We got fooled.
Roddy Tops is one of those like wacky kind of zany characters who sort of, has a iffy relationship with the truth. Sort of loves everyone but doesn't know how to express it properly. That got a little deeper than I had intended for it to. So now we've just repaired this wagon, which lets us skip the horrible sequence so we never have to do it again. And in exchange, we get the shriveled thing. The shriveled thing smells. I don't know why you cannot skip that specific line of dialogue. It's the one line of dialogue in the game you can't skip.
They really want you to know that it smells.
It's imperative that we all know that the shriveled thing smells.
Well, anyway, now you know, yeah.
So now leaving this room is kind of weird, because I like to charge out of rooms, because charging is fast. But if I charge out of this room, I will get stopped dead. So instead, I have to buffer a charge, leave the room, wait a very small amount of time after I leave, and then let the charge go. Otherwise, I will be stopped dead, and I'm going to lose time. That happens a few times in a few places. I'm not entirely sure why. But now here's the second dungeon, the Cackle Tower. I'm going to head in, because I'm pretty sure I got everything I need from here. Not missing anything. Did I forget anything important while I was out there?
I don't think so, no. There was a cackle bed outside that you also wound up getting dark magic from.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I did.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yep.
Okay. So most of the Cackle Tower is basically turning on this machine to start up a giant wind turbine that you can float up, and that will take you to the top of the dungeon. But because we have a bajillion jumps, we don't need to turn it on. But I do need to drop down here and pick up a spare key for later in the game. What did you get? Oh, a super pike ball.
That's very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this bad guy can drop a couple of items, also including a flare somehow. That's one of the less useful items in this case, but like you can get a pike ball or monster milk, and those are especially handy in fights.
Yeah, I am going to be crossing my fingers to get lots of super pike balls and super monster milks, because those are going to make the later bosses go much more quickly.
Yeah, and since this is all dark magic, we actually wind up needing a couple more of those compared to any percent.
Yeah, the final boss in this category is much more extensive and much cooler and way more metal.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really like running any percent just because I don't get to see the final boss. We are closing in on the boss, which I am going to say right now is the giant spider. So if you don't like giant spiders, if you don't like small spiders, if you don't like medium-sized spiders, this is probably a good time to look away. I personally hate this boss, not because it's a spider, but because it is the hardest boss in the game if you are speedrunning. So, Jangle, do you want to explain the mechanics of this while I try not to die?
Sure. Yeah, so what TheSoundDefense is going to do here is he's going to try and get himself stuck in the spider's hitbox. And as soon as he does that, he's actually trying to do these cannonball jumps. Because as it turns out, if you do get hit, it does reset the amount of cannonball jumps that you can do. Because normally you can do 3 in total. But if you get hit after those 3, you can just repeat it over and over again. So ideally, you will be able to get yourself in the air for the entire duration of the fight.
That was amazing!
And that was really good, actually.
That is one of the best fights I've ever had.
So yeah, that basically.
Oh, I feel so good right now. Nothing can bring me down.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So, yeah, during practice, I lost my auto potion fighting that boss, which is basically your fairy heal. And so, I'm really glad I still have that, because the final boss of this game... Oh, hey, I did forget something. There we go, that dark magic.
It was still there.
Yeah, so... It is actually faster to destroy that cacklebat, do the entire dungeon, and then pick up the dark magic afterwards, rather than wait for the cacklebat to explode. All right, now, this is the island that determines whether or not you're on a world record run. Because this is Tanline Island, and this is where all the items are going to drop. Or, if you're me, none of the items are going to drop. That's also possible.
Ready.
So... There are 3 things I want to pick up here. These guys, okay, a regular monster milk is a good start. I'm looking for bubble shields from these little green guys. Those are going to be very useful. And then,
bubble shields are the items that protect Shantae for a brief period of time, and those will be very handy with the later boss fights.
Then that Scorp Gal is the most generous enemy in the game. It will drop either 5 monies. The official currency of Sequin Land is monies. It's in the game. It will either drop 5 monies, a super pike ball, or a super monster milk. And there's a lot of them on this island. And so they are going to decide how good of a run this is.
Flare activated.
So starting off with 1 super pike ball is pretty good. At a certain point, I'm going to have to do an item inventory and see how well I'm doing. And that will tell me if I have to do any money grinding. So what was the number we came to previously about what I need here? I think the amount of money I need... What am I panicked. I was thinking about math and it ruined my life. Let me see. I need 50, 100, 250... I think the number is 355 I'm trying to go to.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, TheSoundDefense, as was mentioned before, I believe, he will be buying some upgrades, including hair improvements, so his hair will become stronger, so stuff like that.
No, it was 360. That's right.
Okay,
Pirate Flare, not a bubble shell. So, this is a nice little money grinding spot, and this is a nice little donation reading spot for... Give me like 3-4 good donations.
Okay. You know, you talked about matching your donations from earlier for the hits, so we got a few that came in. We have $30 from Mott, who says, hit challenge donations? Sure, we can match. We have $30 from Jason LaRose, who says, 9th donation of the event. $30 for 3 splats and Run Run Roddy Tops. Happy Pride Month. $30 from Echo025, who says, here is for 3 deaths.
Thank you very much. All right, so now I'm at 385. I can buy an extra bubble shield with all this. So that is money grinding spot 1. Thankfully, it didn't take that long. And now, so I got from the Squid Baron, I got these X-ray specs. And so now I need to find these 3 sarcophagi and get 3 mummy sketches from them because they are going to tell me the sequence needed to open up the stealth section of the game in Tanline Temple. So the first one is there. The second one is over here in Sky's house. Sky has her parents over because she's introducing them to her new boyfriend, Barracuda Joe. And he's dead.
So, yeah.
F's in chat for Barracuda Joe, please.
07 Joe.
We hardly knew you, literally. All right, so now I'm gonna do some quick shopping. I'm going to buy 4 pirate flares, a bubble shield, 1 shampoo, and 2 silky creams, and I'm out of money.
Nice. That worked out really well.
All right, shopping successful. So that's 2 pieces of the code. And now I'm gonna go and pick up the 3rd, and I'm gonna pick up another useful item while I'm at it. Bubble shield, hey! Excellent.
There it is.
So now I have the minimum number of bubble shields I need. I would really like 2 more if I can pick them up. But if I can't get any more bubble shields, that's okay. All right, Skella Bros, please be bros. Give me some super pike balls. Regular pike balls are okay, I guess.
That's more than nothing.
Another animation cancel right there. All right. Hey, super pike. Super pike.
Ooh, 2 of them.
All right, the Skella Bros are in fact bros. All right, so now I have the combination to Tanline Temple, which is different every time, and you cannot brute force it, so you have to do all of this. So it's Gator, Bird, Lion. Nobody let me forget that. I'm gonna need it in like 30 seconds, but it's entirely possible for me to forget the combination in 30 seconds. Janglestorm, I have an embarrassing question.
Go ahead.
What was the combination?
Gator, Bird, Lion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go, Gator, Bird, Lion.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jangle.
So a nice thing about that is you saw Sound do a downward stab. That was a thing that was found some time ago. If you do that, there's a good chance that your combination might be limed out almost entirely, depending on how it goes. But it's always worth going for it, even if you still need to adjust things a little bit. But
all right, so now we're in the stealth section of the game. I hate this section of the game. I'm gonna try a trick that might get me caught. It might do nothing. Oh, I pulled it off.
Nice
okay,
one.
So that is a really precise hair whip that is going to let me go through here without ever having to wait for one of the guards. So that's 1 room, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 rooms. And now I have 1 more scary room coming up. And I've decided that if I get through this whole section as fast as possible without being caught, chat, you have to donate $5. I don't make the rules, except for I'm totally making the rules. Okay, let me focus real quick.
nice.
All right, I'm out.
Excellent.
Chat, you're now obligated to donate to Doctors Without Borders. I don't make the rules except for that rule which I made, but it's still legally binding. You all agreed to this.
So the guard room just now, if you get caught there, that's especially pretty significant time loss because you get sent back to your cell and then you have to retry that whole thing again. It's also a thing that's been referred to in the community as middle gear Shantae, because, you know, it's stealth. But yeah, if you get stuck there, you might lose almost like a minute, pretty much. So yeah.
It's really rough. Anyway, this is why we were collecting those extra keys earlier, because I have skipped like most of the stealth section now by just having these extra keys to let out these extra girls. Also, we're in Metal Princess Leia bikinis for story reasons. Don't worry about it.
Ready, Tom.
Yeah, you should, at the very least, play the game for its very bizarre story and its very charming dialogue. So now we all have to work together to pull this giant rope to open up this door. And it was not pointed out to me until just like the other day that the reason that rope is so heavy is because this is the woman who normally pulls it down. This is the joke that I did not realize for like 8 years until just now. Anyway, we were all mistaken for this princess because we all look basically the same as her.
Yeah, and turns out she went shopping for like 30 minutes or so, and somehow nobody realized that.
Yeah, she went to the store for 30 minutes, and in that time they kidnapped 4 women.
Yeah. from 4 different islands, pretty much.
Yeah, I actually don't remember how everyone got here because I haven't seen the story of this game probably since 2015. Anyway, we are done with Tan Line Temple. We're never going to go back. And I'm being serious, we are never going back to that place. So now I need to quickly do an item inventory. So there are certain like musical cues in this game where I'm allowed to go into my menu and take a look at what I've got without incurring any sort of time penalty, and that's one of them. So I have no super monster milks, which is not great. Ow. I would love, okay. You know what, we're gonna hit up this extra Scorp gal. Okay, well there's one, that helps.
Your Scorp Caps have a decent chance of dropping, especially super Pike Balls, but also super Monster Milks tend to drop pretty frequently. So,
Ooh, another regular monster milk. That's not too bad. Yeah, this is in the out of bounds version of this run. We actually drop into there from right in here, and we sort of go through that sequence in reverse. It's pretty cool. Except for the part where we have to destroy that one purple block from below, which is ludicrously difficult.
yeah, the hardest boss in the game, basically.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
double drop.
The girls are being generous right now. Thank you so much. All right, so after the conclusion of the next dungeon, I am going to look and see how many items I need. If I'm lucky, I will not have to do any money grinding, which would be excellent. So I've taken out 3 cackle bats now. There is one more in like the next area.
So yeah, those Cackle Bats, you'll find them in the overworld map. As far as I remember, they don't actually appear in the dens themselves.
No, you will never see one in an actual dungeon. Each dungeon has 3 heart squids though, which we're not picking up any of because that's not part of the category.
Nope, it's just dark magic.
Yeah, there's 4. I mean, if you do a cross section of all the categories, there's probably 1,000. But there are 4 like main categories of run. There's any percent where you just beat the game. There's all dark magic. Oh my goodness. I'm going to eat some food.
Yeah,
That was really scary for a
that's
second.
pretty close.
Oh, worth it though. Super Monster Milk.
Nice drop, nice drop.
I actually think I am going to get away without a second money grinding section at all.
That's always nice.
That would be very nice. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was, which is, I think, the 3rd time now that this has happened. Thank you, incredibly loud random person in the audience. Is that Gabe? That scream seems very familiar.
It might be, it might be.
I don't know, I need to shake your hand after this though.
So yeah, Sound is going into this room also to pick up a key. This is a thing that you can also do in one of the later dungeons, but this has the added benefit of another Scorp Gal that you can possibly get an item from. So item-wise, that can be in your favor.
All right, Am I going to get the Crusher skip? I was practicing this earlier. I was terrible at it. Oh my goodness. All right, now I need to focus. Give me a second here. All right.
Close.
That is absolutely the opposite of what I wanted. So with a really well-timed and positioned dash, you can dash underneath this entire Crusher in one go, but it's really tough to do.
Yeah, it's a tight setup. There's like a multiple setups that you can do. Sand was showing one of those. Another one that's also commonly done by runners is by ducking as soon as you enter the screen and count the amount of butt shakes, which is 4 in total, and then you kind of go left and right, or right and left and then back, and then set up for the risky shuffle. And if you do that well enough, you can actually do that, what Sam mentioned, get through there without any interruptions.
So there we go. So I was trying to defeat the Squid Baron during that specific charge phase because it's going to set me up for a much nicer set of phases here. It was like as soon as I break his armor, he is going to start eating food and just give me time to wail on him and do lots of damage. Yeah, okay, that went pretty nicely right there.
Yes, from this point though that you really started equipping the super items a lot more compared to the beginning. So as soon as you get to this second half, you really want to make sure that you get good in the item block.
So he's actually pretty glad that we beat him up for story reasons. He had boss ennui. I don't know what the word. So let's see. I think at this point I just need to buy. I can buy a super pike ball and 2 bubble shields and maybe even a spare pirate flare. I am in the money. This is actually unusually good item luck.
Yeah, you're good there.
So before we go to Mudbog Island, we have to go back to Scuttletown and talk to Bolo. It is a rite of passage to immediately enter Mudbog Island, suffer all the way through it, get to the middle part of it, realize you don't have the item you need, and you have to backtrack through one of the worst areas in the game. Every speedrunner will go through that at some point.
You know, you literally described one of my very first attempts at this game ever.
It is a rite of passage. Everyone does it. I've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
Name a person who speedrun this game, they've done it. It eventually gets beaten into you. Go talk to Bolo.
You'll remind yourself. Make a note saying, please do the thing, go talk to Bolo.
Did I just? Yeah, I totally just fell through the ground right there as I was leaving. So if you hit the loading zone at the right point, one of the things that happens when the loading zone gets hit is that all of the ground becomes non-solid. So if you hit it at the right point, you just sort of fall through the ground, and it's pretty funny. And that's the basis of the out-of-bounds glitch that we're not using, where you enter a loading zone, you use an item to interrupt the loading process, and then you fall through the non-existent ground to get to places you're not supposed to be. It's a very useful glitch, but it can also very easily soft lock, and so I'm a little wary of doing it. So we gave Bolo the X-ray specs, and because he's wearing glasses now, he's smart, so he can decipher the fossil we got earlier and discover that it's actually the death mask that we need to proceed in Mudbog Island. So Mudbog Island casually is horrible. There's a billion enemies, and they all do lots of damage. In pirate mode, in a speedrun, it's actually a lot of fun because you just zoom past all of them and don't get bothered by any of them, and it's incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, it's such a good showcase for all the tech that you have, all the equipment.
The jumping that you have to do is still, it's not exactly precise, but you do have to remember what you're doing. And you need to buffer a jump every time you go through a loading zone here. But there's not a lot to say about this part of the game, so this is probably a good time for some donations.
All right, well, we've got a lot coming through. We have $50 from Shovel Claws, who says, TSD, my beloved, the SAESR community is so proud of you for getting up on the GDQ stage with Shantae. You've helped us in our events so much, so I'm happy I get to help your run from backstage, however small it is. You've got this. SAESR be winning this GDQ.
Thank you so much, Shovel Class. Go ahead, give us another one.
All right, we've got $35 from Squidly, who says the Shantae series is one of my favorites of all time and a huge inspiration to me as an indie game dev. Shoutouts to all the half genies out there, and let's get Rhett to go to beat the Pirate King before he knew what hit him.
Thank you so much. So now we're in the Village of Lost Souls, which is, in the story, you're trapped in here, and you're not allowed to leave until you complete the dungeon. And, I mean, as a speedrunner, that's fine. We weren't going anywhere. Huh. Do not touch that thing. That thing will deal an entire heart of damage. And so now I need to travel through the Village of Lost Souls and collect the 3 gamer coins in order to play the most hardcore of gamer games. Also, I am out of food items, so that's going to be it for animation cancels until I find some more. But yeah, while we are collecting these, actually, give me a second here, because I'm about to do another one of those weird dash buffer things, because this is another one of those loading zones that just stops your dash dead for some reason. All right, we're good to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, how about some more donations?
We have $30 from TKY619, who says, I'll join you on donating for the worst part of the game. Best of luck on the run, bud, and you will always be ADM to us. Always demand. Cheesy, I know.
Thank you, Turkey.
Now, remember earlier when you said everybody had to donate $5? We had quite a response here. So just stop me whenever you need to take back over. We had $5 from Almost a Year, who said, following the Sound Defense rules, I hear it's legally binding.
It is.
We have $5 from your boy Grunty, who said, well, I don't want to go to jail for not donating to those amazing doctors. Take my money. We had $5 from Pap Gen Zero, who says, rules are rules, man. $5 from Resh, who says, binding agreement indeed. Great movement.
Yeah, keep them coming.
$5 from Benjamin, who says, runner said I legally have to. I guess I have to. We had $10 from Slip O'Very, who says, TSD told me to donate, and I shall.
All right. Thank you so much for all those donations. I just hit my face against a wall. So now we're going to use these gamer coins to play the ultimate gamer game, Heads or Tails. Let's see, heads. Head. This is exactly what it looks like. I just have to... Okay, so this was not great luck. So you have 3 chances to correctly guess all 3 of these in a row. You can get through there just by guessing correctly, but if you fail 3 times, the 4th time is guaranteed. So that is what happened to me. So you either want to get through there immediately, or you want to fail 3 times immediately so you can get right to the forced win.
Yeah, at least the game sort of locks it to maximum 4 tries, so you don't have to try it for an infinity of time. But yeah, ideally you would like to get it 2nd time. Usually runners try to guess heads every single time, and well, sometimes you get tails.
Yeah. So now I have the manly musk. I am the man your man could smell like. And I am going to use that manly musk to get into the next dungeon without taking damage from these things. All right, so now I smelled too nice before to get into the oubliette of suffering, but now I smell like a mutant buffalo, so they're going to allow me in to face Dagron, the misspelled dragon. So this dungeon is completely trivialized by the risky shuffle. This is the dungeon where you actually get the dash boots, and the entire premise of the dungeon is that you're running through it to line up these 3 platforms so you have enough space to do a dash. But when you can do a dash anywhere, you can just immediately leave the dungeon. So I'm going to try this without bringing a platform down. Perfect.
Very nice.
And so now this is going to take me directly to the final boss room, and I'm going to save because this boss sucks. This is the 2nd worst boss in the game after the Emperor Spider.
Yeah, that skips like 75 or 70 to 75% of the entire dungeon, really. It's pretty amazing.
All right, so this is Dagron, the massively misspelled dragon. Misspelled Mistras. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking and focus because I do need some audio cues in order to take out this boss. Okay, this is not going according to plan.
Nice
Okay.
save, though.
That could have been much worse. If you get hit by the tail one time, you're getting hit by something else the second time. It's very annoying. So he can do either a long swoop or a short swoop, and trying to effectively predict what he's going to do is key to defeating that boss quickly. And I did not quite get the second one, and so I paid for it a little bit. But I could have lost my auto potion, and I didn't, so I'm calling that a win.
Oh yeah.
So next, technically, I cannot pirate flare out of here because this is considered an indoor area for some reason, and you can only use a pirate flare if you are outdoors. It's probably a mechanism to keep you from leaving early. But I just have to really quickly do some backtracking. All right, now I can leave. So, what was I was going to buy a super pike ball, a pirate flare, and 2 bubble shields. And if I have any money left over, maybe I'll get like a cupcake or something.
Ooh, I'll go for a cupcake.
So this is the final major island. This is Frostbite Island. Everything here does a lot of damage, but thankfully we can just run and dash and jump over everything.
To go.
These wolves right here, they will do 1.5 hearts of damage, so don't get hit by them. Yeah, normally at this point you would have way more hearts than I do now. Okay. But collecting heart squids is slow, and turning them in is even slower, so instead of getting lots of hearts, we're just going to game.
Gaming will be had.
Gaming shall occur.
It
in
shall
theory.
occur.
So the Ammo Baron was just talking to the Techno Baron. Story stuff, don't worry about it. Go play the game. Can we fit in, actually, yeah, go ahead, fit in 1 donation, and I'm going to try and destroy a cacklebat in a cool way.
All right, we've got $50 from Muffin Mark, who says, "Ret to donate, chef."
All right. There we go. I love that particular hit because slowly moving up the slope lets me hit that cacklebat with the same charge at the bottom and top of the slope, which is super cool. I just wanted to show that off. We can get 1 more donation in.
We've got $5 from Jason, who says, "Here's my $5. Dim the rules. Love this run and all the Shantae games."
Thank you so much, everyone who donated. So I have a confession to make. That law was not actually legally binding. I have swindled all of you into donating. I'm not sorry. Anyway, right here, this is something I always ask about. So we were on a frozen wasteland of an island. We traveled up, and somehow it got warmer. How do we explain that? Chat, please give your best explanation in a donation comment. I have heard heat rises. I've heard entropy. I've heard we're closer to the sun. None of these are satisfactory explanations. I would like to hear your best scientific reasons why it's warmer up here. I don't know what you just said, but thank you. So, yeah, let's get some more donations in, because I'm just running and bypassing lots of really long chain sequences by running and jumping and dashing.
This is probably the longest screen in the game, by the way.
You got it. We've got a $5 donation from Anonymous, who says, "Here's $5 for a successful stealth run. Keep up the great work." $5 from Joseph, who says, "Here's my $5 sneak tax." We have $10 from Ryan, who says, "Here's my legally required $5, as well as $5 for my Tears of the Kingdom tax." We have $5 from Anonymous, who says, "SoundDefense said I was obligated to donate, so here is my part of the deal that I totally agreed to, I think. Love to everyone who keeps the show running with their hard work. Less than 3.
So I am pretty sure I got all the cacklebats here, but I kind of completely blanked. Can you, did I miss?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you got everything.
There's 3 here, that much I remember.
Yeah, you got the 2 on the ground floor and then the one just now.
Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, I think we're good then.
Yep.
So, Bolo, right here, he's working for the Techno Baron. He gave us the MacGuffin that we need in order to progress the story. All right, I'm going to really quickly do a dark magic inventory. So I'm missing one here, but that's okay. I had to come back here anyway in order to progress the story.
Yeah, this is usually the part that you wind up backtracking to as well for a different item, but in the case of this category, you actually wind up going back here for this one instance of dark magic.
We're going to jump up and back in to skip the animation. And that should be all 20 pieces of dark magic in the game. I'm going to verify as I go over the remaining islands. But I think now we can just complete the game. So who's excited for more Run Run Roddy Tops? All right, too bad. It's not happening, sorry.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the ride though.
You're actually not allowed to go back and try it again. Shantae says absolutely not. So
Shantae knows.
So we're gonna give over that lost soul we got, and it turns out it's the Spirit of Joe, which is a normal soul but with a mustache now. So with the Spirit of Joe, maybe we can bring him back to life. And also we're gonna hand in the death mask to get a pirate flare, which is not required. You can absolutely skip that. And I don't know, it's something, I don't know who even realized that's a thing. Let me see. Okay, yes, I do in fact have all of the dark magic at this point in time. I'm gonna quickly do some shopping. I'm gonna get another pirate flare, 2 bubble shields, a super pike ball, and I think that's all I need. I think I am good. I'm pretty sure I'm good. Yeah, we're good to go.
Excellent.
So now I don't need anything from the Scare Bros anymore, so I'm just gonna... Sorry, I'm really sorry. Actually, that's an item, though. That's a food item, so I can use that for one more animation cancel, which would be nice. I'm trying to remember... yeah, so I'm only getting 2 keys in the next dungeon in the Abandoned Factory, because I got that extra one in the Lost Catacombs.
Yep.
That's right. So we're going to say hi to this guy, your normal, unassuming, mild-mannered fellow, who it turns out is actually Bran's son, legally distinct He-Man, and hero of something probably. And we're never going to see him again, but he was absolutely vital to the progress of the story.
Yeah, shouts to Branson.
Anyway, so now we have the soul of Barracuda Joe. And with his soul, we can bring him back to life. And he immediately breaks up with Sky. Which, I mean, can you blame him considering what happened?
It's been a lot.
So now we're going to hand over the targeting module, and the Ammo Baron is ready to destroy Sequin Land Palace. But thankfully, the targeting module did not work so well. And instead of destroying Sequin Land Palace, it opened up the path to the final dungeon. Well, the final dungeon. There's technically one more, but we're not really going to do it. But more on that when we get there. All right, back to Frostbite Island, and we're going to enter the Abandoned Factory, which is another dungeon that's going to be trivialized because of these items that we have. Well, it's mostly trivialized because we already have these keys. But, right, we're gonna pick up this and skip that animation real quick.
Yeah, that one is nice because you can actually wait for the entire drop to set up for the trigger, so you can like skip that animation.
So now I'm going to drop down, and because I have this extra key, I am in the second to last room of the dungeon already. So I'm going to risky shuffle over here, pick up this one last key, which I can't skip the animation for. And I'm going to do... No, I am going to totally flub what would have been a really cool jump. But instead, I just fall in front of my face and spaghetti falls out of my pockets. Very unfortunate. So here comes another RNG boss. Jangle, do you want to explain this boss, please?
Yeah, so the steel maggot is basically, you see these buttons, and guess what? You have to press these buttons. In which order, though? I don't know. You will have to find out. So you have to basically get the correct combination. So ideally, you would get the front one first, then the middle, then the right. But the game is not always that kind, so you just have to kind of figure out how to do this. Thankfully, this is where the bubble shield can be very handy, which Shantae has equipped, because it allows you to not get hit by the projectiles. So makes it a little bit easier.
So it wasn't enough for me to get the worst RNG. I also had the worst execution I've ever seen.
Yeah, this fight can be pretty tough, and yeah, RNG is...
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Oh, now...
Now we get it, oh.
Now I get 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, that could have been better. But also, theoretically could have been worse, although you'd have to show me somebody doing it worse in order to prove it.
Yeah, at least with the super items, or at least one of the super items, you can get to cycle on that one, so that's still pretty nice. But yeah, the phase before that can be taking quite a while, depending on the combination.
Tinkerback.
Thank you, mysterious stranger. I will shake your hand after this run.
Yeah.
And I have a spare pirate flare, and I'm going to use it.
Pirate flare activated.
So now, the only thing left to do is to go to the final island, and we're going to this final island in order to destroy the Pirate Master, in theory. He's dead, but, you know, that's a minor inconvenience in video games and comic books. But I am going to do the slow dash into the next room because it's very cool. And there you go. I just sort of ice skate into the cutscene. It saves no time. It actually loses time, but it looks cool, so it's worth it. And so yeah, the Pirate Master is dead, but that's a minor hindrance. And he doesn't like Risky Boots very much, and we don't like him either, but we don't like her either. Risky Boots is a girl. I don't even know what time it is anymore. Time is an illusion.
Time is just weird.
Yeah. Oh, actually, time is 5:40 in the morning. So that's why I can't speak. That's why I can't think.
There you go.
All right, so ever since the Pirate Master rose from his grave about 30 seconds ago, things are not going so well in Sequin Land. Everything is dark, the enemies are bad, and the Sequin Land Palace has been turned into the Pirate Master's Palace. And so the Pirate Master's Palace is technically the final dungeon, it's the final set of challenges, but we have a very nice trick up our sleeves that we're going to use to do basically none of it. So there are these platforms that are supposed to be just barely too far away for us to reach, but it turns out the hover hat gives us just like a few pixels of height, and that is just enough for us to completely bypass all of these challenges that we have to do. This would have made us go through some of the worst rooms in the game, but instead, we just carefully cannon and hat our way to victory. Didn't miss a single one. Fantastic.
Very nice.
And so that is the entire dungeon skipped. And we have one more save because if I somehow die to the Pirate Master, I don't want to lose like 5 minutes or however long it's going to be. I love this backdrop. Very cool. So here's the Pirate Master, the Scourge of Sequin Land. So in any percent, this is a one-phase fight. And so this is a little bit more RNG. We're going to see where he spawns. He could be nice. He could be not so nice. Where's the last spawn? Okay, he was kind of nice. That was okay. So I'm just using these items to boost my DPS and this bubble shield to make all those bullets go away, basically. All right, that was pretty good, first phase. So any percent, that is where the game ends. But because we got all of the dark magic, we get to see the full 4-phase boss fight against the Pirate Master, which is so much cooler. He is way cooler. The music is way cooler.
Get ready to jam, by the way. Shouts to Jake Elfman.
Yep, Jake Kaufman, aka Vert, did the music for this game. He is incredible at what he does. He also did the soundtrack for Shovel Knight, which some of you may have heard of. So yeah, things are substantially more dangerous now. I've got all this stuff to contend with. I have to face off against all of the pirate items that I collected throughout the course of the game. The scimitars, the cannons, the guns right here. So this is why I wanted those extra bubble shields. Because this phase can be done without bubble shields, but I don't really like doing without bubble shields. It's just unnecessarily difficult and painful.
It's trickier. You have to like basically hide in the corner and duck. And as the fight progresses, it also becomes tougher in that sense because those will be thrown your way as well, those guns.
So this right here is why I'm bothered picking up an extra DPS upgrade. Because you can only damage him during that part of the fight, and if you don't finish him off there, you have to do that whole sequence again, even if he's only 1 damage away. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so you spam your jump and attack button pretty much repeatedly in order to do that.
So right here, all the dark magic we've been collecting has been purified into light magic, and it turns out it was Shantae's magic all along. And so now she's a half genie again, and we are going to use our genie powers to lay the smackdown on the Pirate Master. You'll see now, instead of 15 damage, I'm now doing 999. That's actually a lie. That's not true. I'm still doing only 15 damage under the hood. It's just a cosmetic change. So this is why I still have to use the damage increasing items. Otherwise, I will not have enough damage to take this guy out. 1 more bubble shield. 8, 9, 10. And now I have to dodge the actual guns themselves. What? Oh, that was scary for a second.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the last time that happened to me. That was really unfortunate. And as you saw, that 1 hit took out my auto potion because it dealt my entire health worth of damage in 1 hit. If I get hit again, I have to restart the whole boss fight, but I'm pretty sure we're good. There's only 1 phase left. And it's going to consist of me stun locking the final boss as I hit it with cannonballs. So get ready on time. When he starts exploding after the 4th cannon hit, that's going to be time. Thankfully, the increased DPS and the super pike balls are just going to keep him held in place. And so there's really not much to say. And time. What is my time? 106.22.7. That's
Very
pretty
nice.
good. I will
Very nice.
absolutely take a 106. I don't remember what my PB is. I might look it up right here if we have. You know what? No, they told me to keep the outro short. So
That's a really good time.
yeah, I'm happy with that time. If that turns out to be a PB, I will report back later. But yes, I think we're just going to go right to outros. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. Thank you to the entire Shantae speedrunning community. Thank you to the Sacer community. Thank you to the crowd for being super hype, including that one guy who was super extra loud. You're my new friend. And yeah, thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who knows me personally who was watching. Django, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a blast to commentate this, and GG once again. And yeah, shoutouts to the Shantae community. Be sure to, if you want to learn a cool speedrun, be sure to pick this up. It's a lot of fun. We're all more than happy to help you out with whatever questions you have.
I have said a few times in the past that I think this is a really good beginner speedrun. If you've never speedrun something before, this is a good one to go for because it's not super intense. It's pretty chill. You can make lots of wonky RNG work with a bit of money grinding. So if you've been interested in speedrunning and you're not sure what to speedrun, maybe give this a try. I think this is a good choice. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'm looking forward to Mr. Shasta and Klonoa coming up next, so please stay tuned.
Fantastic. That was the Sound Defense with Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Wanted to make sure I got this one out before we went to break. We had $50 from Meta who said, shout out to that guy in the crowd who is hyping everyone up so much. And that's going to do it for me. I will see you again at the host desk here in 24 hours. Pippi in a top hat will be taking you through the next few runs, and SGDQ 2023 will be right back after this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2023. Live, in person, powered by Twitch, and having a cozy, cozy morning here. I am Pippi in a top hat, and I'm here to get dapper this morning and read your lovely donations during our upcoming runs of Klonoa featuring Mr. Shasta. But let's get to those lovely donations, shall we? I have $15 here for you from Bellapon, who says, "Oh no, I still have to pay my taxes. Here are $5 because TheSoundDefense made them up, and I don't know what punishments he might make up. And $10 Zelda tax for one day of my partner and me playing Zelda while watching GDQ." Honestly, sounds like the perfect activity. You got Zelda, you got GDQ, what else do you need? Oh yeah, we need Klonoa. Here's $50 for y'all from Kata, who says, been playing Tears of the Kingdom and now Diablo 4. Here's my taxes. Please don't audit me. I'm glad you paid your taxes. I don't want to audit you. That sounds like a lot of work. Here's $10 for y'all from Le French Restream, one of our wonderful restreams who is making Games Done Quick available for everyone in their local languages, who says, hello, this donation is to rename Quilava as Qua in Pokemon Coliseum. Good GDQ. Which is also a great reminder that we don't just have incentives to meet, we also have naming bid wars coming up. That Quilava bid war does have quite a few good options, if I do say so myself, Chef. But also, Saga Frontier is coming up real soon, and we are currently $1 different between our two story options. I don't know about y'all, but I kind of like things being even. It's kind of satisfying, so do with that what you will, chat. I got $5 for you here from Opaque Dreamer, who is also paying the Zelda tax and says, I just got my copy of Tears of the Kingdom, so here's the fee. My body is inefficient and requires sleep, so I will have to rejoin you in a few hours. Have you ever considered, everyone at home, that GDQ is the perfect background noise to curl up and get cozy? Because I consider it quite often. I have $50 for y'all from Medanok, who says, some games you become a fan of after watching them getting speedrun, and I thank GDQ for this. It's really true. Here's $10 from Sir Flux, who says, greetings from from Austria. Amazing event as always. Much love to everyone involved. This donation goes towards the Pokemon Coliseum incentive. Ooh, we're gonna need some money on that one. Y'all wanna see some Pokemon? That's what I like to hear. We got energy this morning. Here's a lovely, wholesome $50 from Sarah Caesar, who says, love to all chefs out there, less than 3. Oh, thank you. Love back to you, chef. Here's $25 from Anonymous. Oh my goodness, Anonymous is always so generous at these things. I wonder what they do for a living. But they say, shout out to the live audience staying up so late. Or early. Thank you everyone for lending your energy to our incredible performers this morning. Here's $20 from Suburban Hell. Interesting. Who says, thank you, SGDQ, for all that you do. Looks like we're naming Pokemon for the upcoming Coliseum battle. In that case, I have to try to get Umbreon named in honor of my good boy, Kazoo. What an excellent name. I don't know what kind of good boy you have, but they have a good name. All right, everyone. We've been held in suspense for long enough for the evening. Evening, morning, it's one or the other. So, without further ado, I give you Mr. Shasta and Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series.